All right, so today I'll go over a few things real quick. I'm putting the Mach 1 back together. So the black car is back together. Last time I told you about it, I was waiting for a pigtail wire from Pro-M Racing to come in, and I was gonna put the stock seats and all back in it. Well, I got the pigtail from Pro-M wiring, and I put it back in. Basically, it's a little pigtail goes on the left side of the clutch pedal. You push in the clutch, it makes a connection, so it knows it's in neutral. I hook those up to my wires, and now when you push it in, it actually will crank the car like it's supposed to. Neutral safety switch is working. I got the factory seats back in it. The console, the boost controller's hooked up and working now. The shifter and all, shift plate, everything is back just like it's supposed to be. Still working on my speedometer, getting it to read properly. It was 10 fast and it was 10 slow, and I'm trying to get that sorted. That's why the kick panel's off. But everything else is pretty much in place and ready. Just need to clean the car on the outside a little bit and get it detailed. And then for now, get ready to stick the Mach 1 back together. And again, this is just a stock 04 Cobra transmission with the MGW shifter and my shift ball on it. And before I put it in here, I did get a flywheel with it, which I've already mounted and have it torqued down and cleaned. And I wanted to show you something to make your life easier. Those little plastic pieces are fine, but I went ahead and bought this shaft. This simulates having the front of a transmission shaft to go in, so your plates line up. And for a dual disc clutch, this is just what you need to use. Those plastic ones suck. But I got this off of Summit. This is the part number. And if you get this tool, it'll make your life easy. It's like 40 bucks. You get this, you slide it in, and it'll line up your clutch disc a lot easier. Now what's nice about this, I'll just show you here. Just slide that in like so. See how it's open on the back? Let me grab my clutch disc here. And when this goes on, it just literally slides in from the back like this. If I keep this from sliding. Give me a minute. My new tool isn't gonna work, which sucks. So I'm back to using the plastic one here because the plastic one actually fits in the disc. And that nice new billet one I got from Ram, the teeth are too wide. It wasn't machined properly, so it wouldn't fit through the disc. So anyway, plastic tool, put the lower disc on, and I'm about to take this apart because it's still bolted on. I'll take this off, put this plate on it, and then line it up like I did the other one, put it on, and away we go. I just don't like these plastic ones because they're kind of hit and miss. Having that shaft in there sure would be nice. Now I got to contact Summit and let them know, and hopefully they'll send me the right one, but after that it'll be kind of late. I've already got it in at this point. So that sucks. That's a Ram alignment tool, and clearly it's not machined properly. All right, and just like that, plastic tool ends up working out fine. Line up the splines, if you can see those in there. Put the tool in, boom. So the plastic tool does work. I just really want to use that other tool, but I'm just gonna send it back and get my money back now. So same as the other video I did with the black car. You put the flywheel on, you got their little motor plate goes on first, then your flywheel, you torque the bolts down, a little bit of blue Loctite on them, and then you clean your flywheel off, you put the lower disc on, put the tool on, center it, then you put this piece on, you tighten these bolts down, 25, then 35 pounds of torque all the way around. Then you put your other disc on, you got to take the tool off, put both discs together, where you can spin them around. You put your outer pressure plate on, it's a flat washer, then a lock washer, then these nuts. You put them on, you tighten them. I like to do it in steps of 20 to 24 pounds of torque all the way around, like a 1, 7, 3, 9, 5, 11. And then tighten them up to like 34, 35 pounds of torque all the way around. I do it twice, make sure they're good to go. Make sure your tool slides in and out freely, like so. And now that part is done. And so we're ready to put the transmission on. Now you'll notice that the bell housing is still attached. That's how the guy I got it from took it out of the car. But I'm going to crack the bell housing away from the transmission do that, you take these bolts here off, and we'll take this off and put it onto the back of the transmission, back of the motor. Before I do that, this is the release bearing here. I have a brand new one I'm gonna put on it. So you basically slide this forward, pull this down, slide the new one in, and away you go. And I'm gonna clean this off a little bit too, and put a little dielectric grease on it. So it slides back and forth onto the shaft, and a little bit here so when it goes into the pilot bearing. But that'll be good. This will keep it for if you ever have a chirp in your car, if you're at like a drive-through or something, here chirp, you put your foot on the clutch pedal and the chirp goes away. This is the bearing causing the noise right here. So the best thing to do is get a forward release bearing and put on it. I always put a forward release bearing on them, don't have any problems. And I've got a brand new one to put on it here. So I'll change that out, put it on, put the bell housing up there, and then hopefully the transmission slides right in. Once I get it in, I'll drain the fluid. I'll put some fresh fluid in it, which will be a Dex Merc combination of fluid. And I can't really tell, I don't know who sealed that, but that looks like, I guess it's sealed. It's pretty ugly, but it does look like it's sealed, so I might just leave it and we'll go from there. All right, this is the forward part number for the release bearing. And this is what it looks like on here. See there, slides back and forth real nice. So basically you pull this down, pull the little clips here forward to get it off of that, and then you can pop that right off, slide the new one in. Note the orientation, how it goes on the spring, and it goes in that real nice. I always like to just take a little light coat of grease and put around this just to make sure it slides nice and easy. And I put a little dab in here just to make sure it doesn't get in a bind, and we're good to go. You'll notice I tried to clean the shaft and everything out really good because I was in here and the clutch fork as well. And this is the bearing retainer that it rides on, so I cleaned that really good with a rag and wiped everything off so I didn't have any debris or dirt on it. Wiped it all off really good, light layer of grease on it there. Not too much you want to spin out getting your clutch disc, but real light so this can actually slide back and forth real easy. And now I'm ready to put it on my transmission jack and put it up into the car. And hopefully I've got it lined up well enough with my plastic tool, it'll drop right into place. And you'll see I've got my bell housing on here. Let me give you some light. The bell housing is actually bolted up with the factory bolts all around. And I'll put the transmission on. I could actually go ahead and hook up the starter if I wanted to. I'll run the harness down. I'll put my clutch cable through this hole here. And then I can start hooking up the drive shaft and I'll get the shifter to poke through the bottom of the hole and then put the mount on it. So we're getting real close. It'll look just like factory. All right, it is Friday the 29th, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Last night I finished the car, but it was 10:30, so I didn't want to start the car, you know, be courteous to my neighbors. So now I'm getting ready to fire the car up, make sure the clutch and the transmission, everything engages properly, and figure out where the clutch is releasing in the pedal travel. And because I have a firewall adjuster on this car right up here, I can actually adjust the cable in and out to adjust the tightness of it, to adjust where it's going to release. Once I figure out where it's releasing, like I did on the black car, when I figure out it's releasing about midway where I want it, I'll let it go through the gears, make sure my drive shaft is doing good, my shifting and all. It has brand new fluid in it. I've got my shifter in place. I might adjust that a little bit, but I've got it temporarily for now. It's that MGW shifter. As long as everything is moving the way it should and there's no leaks, then I'll let it down and go for a test drive. But should be good. Well, preliminary, only had one issue. Clutch seems to be releasing fine. It goes into gears fine. I went through first, second, third, reverse. But I kept hearing this grinding noise and ended up, I had the drive shaft here was actually hitting the muffler a little bit in two places. It was hitting right here. You can see the witness marks there, rubbing on the pipe just a little bit, and it was hitting right here. So what I had to do is I had to loosen up the X pipe from here and here just to lower it down a bit. And now we got clearance. Get my pinky finger in it here and not quite right here. It's just real tight. When you have 3-inch exhaust, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And I already had the muffler pushed over pretty much as far as I could here to the side. And you can see the clearance when I try to push it over. But hopefully that gives me enough room. When you compress the car, when you put the car on the ground, the drive shaft actually will go up some. And this was much higher before than it is now. So I should have plenty of clearance now, but that was clearly the grinding and dragging noise I kept hearing. I kept hearing this weird dragging noise. But other than that, it seems to be going into gear fine. Clutch is releasing fine. I don't see any leaks so far. And now I can get down and go for a test drive. All right, well, the grinding sound's gone. Seems to be doing good. I think it's releasing just a little high, so I might adjust that pedal a little bit. Look, that's a Ford Maverick pickup truck. Shift as smooth as my Magnum did. But it shifts. All the gears seem where that's 5th. That's 6th. So the transmission works. Since Kevin said he never drove it, that's a plus. It don't make any funny noises. Because it's a Cobra style rear end, and the drive shaft was for a GT and it wouldn't fit, so I had to knock the universal out and change the adapter and the universal. I've never done that before, so I did that last night. Worked out good. The drive shaft hadn't flung out of it yet, so I must have done it pretty good. back to a T56 transmission and a RXT clutch. The only way you know the difference is I don't have the pistol grip. I just got my round ball on here now. Alright, driving to work. Just making sure I'm breaking everything in and everything's working good. So it's Saturday, April 30th, 2022. Getting near the end of the month. It's hard to believe it's about to be May of 2022. This year is going by really fast. But as of today, all my project cars are up and running, which is a huge win. Everything works, everything drives. I can drive any car I want. That's a big deal. That's that. End of the video. T56 conversion back in place. That's great.